My goodness. My music isn't working. That's okay. Good morning, everyone. While we're waiting for others to get in and get settled, now's a good time to grab anything that you need to get comfortable. Maybe it's a glass of water, a hot cup of tea or coffee. Also, if you have items at home and you'd like to smudge with me, it's a good time to grab those items as we begin to ignite the healing within. If you don't have items at home, relatives, that's okay. We'll send you some cleansing, healing, and positive energy. It's a new day. It's another sunrise. It's another sunset. It's our opportunity to start again. Take stock of where we're at for the day and decide how we're going to move forward. Hey, Kai, why don't you go in the other room? My son and I are battling for who is going to get the living room for their daily activities. Aloha, kakahiaka. Hello and good morning. My name is Malia, and I'm a community healer at the HIR Wellness Institute. We are a nonprofit organization that focuses on the mental health and wellness of our relatives of Turtle Island, as well as other Indigenous and underserved communities, and also victims of crime. You can join us here every Monday through Friday, where we will always breathe, stretch, explore ways of integrating self-care into our daily lives, and we will always honor our cultural traditions, our customs, our ancestry, our strength, and our resilience. So thank you so much today for joining us today, relatives. I want to start by taking a moment to recognize our HIR Wellness team members who are here with us as we practice this circle of care. We have our HIR Wellness, we have our counseling intern with us today, Odessa. Good morning, Odessa. How are you doing? When you see the HIR Wellness Institute commenting this morning, that is Odessa. And she, as myself, are here to help you with our skills and our talent and our gifts that the Creator have given us to support you in this circle of care. And to our relatives out there, I want to say good morning. Welcome. We're so happy that you're here with us. Our founder, CEO, and CEO Leah Denny has opened up the HIR Wellness Institute so that we can provide a safe place for you to come here on these R&R videos, to talk about how you're feeling, to reflect on your day and what it is that you need, to honor your resilience. What we're doing right now as we're in the circle of care is practicing community activated medicine. And community activated medicine means that the people are the medicine. And right here, right now, we can lean into each other. We can provide each other with emotional support. Healing doesn't have to be complicated. And sometimes all we really need is just to let people know, or for people to let us know that there's others around you to hold space for you. There's others here to support you, to listen to what it is that you need, and provide you with emotional support. And if community activated medicine means that the people are the medicine, that means that you have within your own hearts, your own mind, your own body, and your own spirit to do your own part of your healing. So thank you for being here with us today, relatives. All right, let's take a moment and see who's here checking in. And relatives, anytime you come on these videos, you can always check in. Avery says, good morning, Malia and everyone. Good morning, Avery. How are you doing? I've been watching all your beautiful pictures on Facebook. Odessa, how are you doing? How am I doing today? Today is an odd day. It's a strange day. I actually woke up earlier than my alarm, which is nice. I'm going to kind of reflect on today and see how I feel. Right now I feel good. My feet were a little sore when I woke up. And when we check in relatives, it's always good if you want to do a body scan, because when we have that connection to our bodies, it helps us be aware of what other things might be going on. Wellness is, it's body, mind, spirit, and it's also our emotions. So take a moment if you want. Close your eyes if you want to. Scan from head to toe. Are there areas in your body that need some just a little bit of paying attention to? How's your forehead, your temples feeling? Your jaw, your neck? What about your shoulders and back? Your tummy, your hips, your legs and knees, your ankles, your feet, your toes, your arms, wrists and fingertips, your hands. Take a moment to scan your heart. Are there feelings or emotions that are lying heavy there? Or does your heart feel full and free? And let's take a moment to scan our thoughts. Are there thoughts that have been circulating in your mind? Or does your mind feel clear and awake? So for those of you just joining us, please do feel free to check in and let us know how you're feeling. We're also fortunate to have our occupational therapist, Claudia Meyer-Smith, here with us as well. So relatives, when you're here on these R&Rs, it's not just me supporting you as a community healer and an advocate. It's Claudia, our occupational therapist, to help you with that mind-body connection. And it's also Odessa to help you in that therapeutic sense of counsel, of goal setting. Avery said that today she slept 8 to 9 hours, so hoping today will be a good one. All right, Avery. Woo! That's a good amount of hours. Good for you. I'm happy for you. Odessa says, I'm doing well. I slept really well. I finally washed my sheets and duvet cover yesterday, so fell asleep in a nice, freshly washed bed. It felt so nice. Glad to start my day and ready to go. Odessa, I did that too earlier this week. There's nothing like freshly washed sheets to help you with a good night's sleep. I honestly feel like it washes the worries away, because when you go to bed in those sheets, you're sweating, or maybe I'm just sweating, I don't know. And you might be up at night kind of worried about things and tossing and turning sometimes, and then you get up and that's in your bed. So when you can wash that all away, it always feels so good. Odessa says, Avery, she's glad you slept well. Sleeping can be such a great way to practice self-care. So true, and so much of us need better sleep. Feel free to check in, relatives. And guess what? This morning, I actually decided to make tea. The last week or so, I've just been sleeping in. I'm like, you know what? My self-care looks like not making tea. My self-care looks like 10, 15 extra minutes of sleep. But I'm going to show you my tea that I have this morning. Got my Wonder Woman cup. Now this tea that I have today is a fava tea. This is a peppermint tea. I already pre-bagged it. So peppermint tea, an excellent, not only affordable tea, and this again is fava. This is fava brand. We hand packed it at the Institute, so it's handwritten. But peppermint is really, really good for the tummy. It's also great to invigorate the mind without caffeinating. So I can't always do caffeine. My body's really sensitive to it. So peppermint's great. I also tend to eat a little bit later at night. So oftentimes when I wake up in the morning, my tummy feels full and kind of not too good. So that's just the nature of my job because I work another job as well too, which I love, for a cultural arts organization. And anyways, I tend to work until like late, like 8, 9, 10 sometimes. So I'll eat dinner really late. And so my tummy feels bad in the morning sometimes. So I have filtered boiled water here. So there's nothing like peppermint tea or ginger or turmeric tea to really aid in that digestion. So while we're letting this steep, what are you doing for your self-care and wellness today, relatives? What are you doing? I'll tell you right now, you're already reflecting. So that's good. We're practicing community-activated medicine. You might be having an elixir. Share what you have in your cup. So that's already 3 things. For Odessa and Avery, you also have a good night's sleep. That's 4 things. By the time we stretch, all these things, we have a lot of really good things that you can do in a day. Maybe you can make it a goal to do 20 acts of self-care or wellness in a day. Maybe 50, maybe 100. Let us know what your plan is for that. Odessa says, I think a freshly washed bed shows how space matters. What we surround ourselves with makes an impact. Keep that in mind. What does your safe space look like and feel like? Does it feel warm and safe? Does it feel clean? I think this is why my bed felt so great last night. Even just knowing that it was clean made an impact. That's awesome, Odessa. And truthfully, relatives, sometimes you ever notice when your house is messy, this space right here might not feel so good. It's funny because if we think about what we surround ourselves with, and right now, just surrounding ourselves with each other, but also honestly, I'm constantly surrounded by squash, relative squash. It's self-care. It's a great thing, squash. Um, some of these I've grown, some of these my friends grew, but they last all winter long. So you can eat, fresh produce, well, winter produce all winter long. Squash, they'll last you for months. You can put them in your basement in a cool, dry place. Um, for me, I don't even have them cooled. I just have them sitting on my kitchen counter, or my dining table in this case. I'm also always surrounded by smudge. I always have my feather and my abalone shell and my sage. There's always a cup of tea nearby. Quite honestly, for my self-care routine, if I have time today, my kitchen needs some serious love. Laundry's caught up though, and that's a great feeling. Avery says I'm going to change my sheets today and get a 2-hour massage tomorrow. Avery, I'm loving your wellness today. That is amazing. A little jealous about the 2-hour massage, but I'm happy for you. Sounds incredible. I need to get me a massage. I need a foot massage. Avery says yes. They say our environment is a reflection of our mind. Mind is kind of messy. Hear, hear. All right, relatives. Every week that we meet, I like to share a different breathing technique with you. Every time that we meet, we will always breathe. And deep breathing is really important. It's one of those things that we can put in our medicine kit. Our medicine kit is sort of those techniques or tools or relaxation methods or grounding methods or maybe items that we have, even physical items, that can really help us on our wellness and self-care and mental health. So, deep breathing, what I love about it is that you literally have to have nothing with you. It costs nothing. You can do it instantly on the spot. You can do it if you're out and about feeling stressed out. You can do it at home. You can really be anywhere to go ahead and to connect to deep breathing. Now, what does it do for us? Deep breathing has a lot of really powerful benefits. One, I think about the medicine wheel. Air is a major part of the medicine wheel, right? The wind, the air. Well, that's in our breath, that's in our lungs. Hawaiians, as a native Hawaiian, breathing is really important. We call that breath the ha. Ha is the breath that we share with others. It's like that the breath of life, right? And we think about when we breathe, and we oftentimes when Hawaiians used to meet, and sometimes we still do, we would touch foreheads and noses, and we would just kind of breathe a breath with each other. And that's very symbolic, right? To be able to share life with somebody. So deep breathing. It can also center us. So if you're feeling like your mind's kind of just out there and spinning and cycling all over the place, we have very, very overactive minds as Westerners. So what it helps us to do is it quells the mind. It brings us to our center. It actually slows our heart rate, and that's grounding to us. It brings us to the present. Too often, our Western minds and our minds, which are traumatized in a lot of ways, are focused on trauma that's happened in the past, or also just the worry and anxiety about what's coming in the future. So when we go to deep breathing, we connect and center in that way where we're right here, right now. As we do that, our brain gets to take a break. And then we connect to our heart space. There is no words in the heart. The heart, the language of the heart is our emotions and our feelings. That's what our spirit understands. So we can connect here and we can connect here and give our brains a rest. So, the deep breathing exercise that we're doing today, relatives, and that we've been doing for the week, I've been calling it like it's like a protection breathing or a visualization breathing of a golden ball of light. Now, when might this technique be good? It's good if you're in an environment that you might perceive as not serving you, an environment that may seem toxic, an environment that may be very stressful, an environment where you're not feeling like you can relax, or an environment where you might be around people where you're not necessarily sure, like you don't know who they are. Maybe you're at the grocery store, maybe maybe you're in a doctor's office, and you really want to protect your energy. So in this deep breathing exercise, we're going to picture a golden ball of light surrounding us, maybe in like a 3 foot kind of perimeter above our heads, around our feet. And that golden ball of light, even though you can be bathed in light, it's a permeable barrier. So it can protect you in the way that if there's people who are having negative intentions, or they're just having energy that you necessarily don't want to bring into your own self, you don't want to have to absorb that. Just imagine this ball of light will take any of that energy that's coming from a different person, even if it's someone from far away. Like let's say like Facebook or social media or something, and there's some toxic stuff happening out there. You can just let that energy come into the light and just be absorbed by the light and bounce back. The other thing that you can do today, that you can do as well too, with this energy, this ball of light and this breathing exercise, is that if you have stuff that's coming from within you, because sometimes those energies, those things that aren't serving you, aren't necessarily coming from other people. They might be coming right from you. Feelings of self-doubt, feelings of not being enough, feelings of not being deserving, feelings of whatever feeling it is. If you're feeling sad or you're feeling upset, you can also let that ball of light work in the opposite way, that it can pull away energies that aren't serving you, things that you don't want to have to absorb and that you don't want to have to embody. You can let that ball of light, almost like a magnet, pull those away and let the light, that golden light, dissipate those energies out, away from you. Let the air take care of it. Let our medicine, air, and wind take care of it. Let it take it away. Now, as far as the breathing part, we're going to breathe in through the nose for a count of 4. We're going to exhale through the mouth for a count of 6. As we're breathing, we can allow that ball of light to grow, to become brighter. And if you have feelings that come surface in your mind, or things that are stressing you out or whatever, allow that golden ball of light to take that energy in, to release it. And again, if you have feelings, if you're ever somewhere and you don't want to take in other people's energies, this is a good visualization exercise as well. All right, you ready, relatives? Deep inhale, eyes closed are optional. Imagine that ball of light surrounding you, and exhale, release. Deep inhale. And exhale. 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 One more, picturing that ball of light, absorbing anything that doesn't serve you. Exhale and release. Let's continue with the stretch. Inhale as we bring those arms out. And again, these stretches are just guidelines, relatives. You can stretch however you like. If you want to stand up, if you want to stick to one stretch, trust your body. Listen to what you need. You know best. Wellness and self-care is all about you determining what you need, what you want. Pushing down on the fingertips, stretching the wrist or forearm. If you don't like that, you can roll your wrist or choose another stretch. Deep inhale, clasping the fingers, palms out and up. And our palms are towards the ceiling as we gently bend from side to center. Pardon me. Stretching the triceps here. Other side. Inhale. All right, let's look from side to center. Gently bending our necks. Let's double tap the ear towards the shoulder. Then rolling the chin from shoulder to shoulder, keeping to the front, nice and gentle here. And looking down gently towards our lap. and up towards the ceiling for one next stretch here. How'd that feel, relatives? So, my peppermint tea. You can see how potent this tea is. Again, the Fava Tea brand. Fava Tea always comes loose, but we packed this tea bag at the Institute. That's why it's handwritten here. You can see that beautiful, it's almost like a golden green color. It almost even has the color of like a maple syrup with just a tinge of green around the edge. It's very beautiful. Let me smell it. Peppermint tea smells absolutely lovely. It kind of has, as you'd imagine, sort of that candy cane smell, not quite as strong. It's subtle. It has a sweetness to it that you can smell as well. Um, I'm drinking this for my tummy today and to invigorate my mind without the caffeine stimulation. Again, relatives, I highly recommend peppermint tea because of its price point. It's one of the lower cost items you can get. If you buy it from Fava Tea, you can buy their teas per ounce, and the ounces, it's not as dense. Peppermint tea, it's very fluffy, so you can get a lot of it for even for its weight. And this is a cheers to all of our relatives out there, to a new day, to our opportunity to start again, for moments of self-care that you take today, tomorrow, for the rest of the week, the rest of the month, the rest of the year. Matter of fact, the rest of your life. Cheers to every moment that you take. Man, that tea is good. And it's good for kids too. If you want to get your children or grandchildren introduced to teas, peppermint tea is probably, I would say, at the top of the list of the route that you can go. All right, let's go check back in and see how everyone's doing here on the thread. Odessa says, my self-care today looks like drinking tea and being mindful of my anxious thoughts. My goal is to be able to identify when they come up and acknowledge them. Maybe I will be able to support them in the moment, or maybe all I will be able to do is acknowledge that they are there. I anticipate there will be things today that react my anxious parts. I want to pay attention to that. My self-care is also being here with all of you. Hope today's a peaceful day for you, Odessa. Tea's a great way. Claudia says, my self-care today is going to include watching something on Netflix. One of my favorite self-cares, relatives. And if you're looking for some comfort shows, relatives, I don't know if I've been watching Netflix, obviously. I think we all have this past year a lot. One of my comfort shows is Schitt's Creek. Schitts. If you haven't seen it, it's such a comforting show. I love it. Love it. Love it. Um, Avery says Netflix is also part of my self-care about 2 or 3 times a week. Wow, Avery, that's good. That's a lot less than mine. Claudia says she will be watching The Crown. And Odessa says Netflix allows us time to relax and take a break from our thoughts. I spent some time yesterday using Netflix as my self-care too. Now, relatives, you might laugh, like Netflix self-care. The truth is self-care is limitless. What we choose for our wellness is extremely broad, and the beauty of it is you get to choose. Yeah, can Netflix be part of your self-care? Absolutely. If you have a busy day or your mind's just spinning and you just need to relax, Netflix is great. Now, there might be other times where Netflix isn't necessarily serving your wellness. For example, maybe you have a doctor's appointment, but instead of going to the doctor's appointment, you decide you're going to do Netflix. Well, that's your choice, but maybe that's not necessarily a good self-care practice in the moment. Same thing about things like ice cream. Sometimes ice cream can be good self-care. It might be one of those days where it's a jammy day and maybe you're experiencing something. Maybe for women it's your time, your moon. Maybe you've just had one of those weeks where you've been working nonstop and you want to have some ice cream. Awesome. Let that be part of your self-care. And then there's times where it doesn't serve us. Maybe our health says that, it's not good for us to have ice cream for whatever reason. Maybe it's our medication or a certain illness. And then we might want to think a different way that we can choose for self-care and wellness. The beauty of it is, relatives, is that the choice is yours. Nobody can tell you what it is that you need or don't need in your path and journey of self-care, wellness, and mental health, which is synchronous with your path of life. You are the driver, you are the captain, you are in charge, you are the chief, you are the leader. When we're talking about your life and your self-care journey, nobody can tell you what that looks like. I can't tell you. Your partners can't tell you. People you love, they might want to tell you. But the truth is it is your choice. And that doesn't always mean that it's easy, but it means that it is yours and only yours. And that doesn't mean there's not going to be boulders in your way or individuals who are on their own paths and journeys who will cross your path and try and have you come this way or that way. But it is your choice. Claudia says she's going to watch The Crown. Woohoo! Good morning, Matilda. How you doing? Matilda says, yesterday I registered for a virtual workshop titled Using the Medicine Wheel to Transform Indigenous People's Health. Presenter was Dr. Michael Yellowhead. I'm so thrilled that finally the medicine wheel is being introduced in the university setting. Feeling great today. That is awesome, Matilda. Please keep us posted. Any things that you discuss or learn, I would love to hear about it. Odessa says, Matilda, thank you for the share. That is so great. I'm glad you are feeling good and that you shared this energy and love in our space this morning. Cheers to a new day, to self-care, and however that may look. Good morning, Marilyn. She says, enjoying the call, extra stress this week at work. Marilyn, if you're able to, you might be busy right now in the middle of work, but let us know what you're going to do to take care of yourself this week. Being that you have that extra stress there at work, let us know if you want to share, how you're going to be able to get through it. Arlene, good morning. How are you doing, Arlene? Glad you're here with us. Odessa says, Schitt's Creek is so good, always makes me laugh, and I leave with a smile on my face. During COVID, Schitt's Creek has been my buddies. They have been my friends. So anyways, again, relatives, however your self-care and wellness looks, whatever it is you're doing, you get to decide whether that's Netflix, whether it's ice cream, whether it's a massage, day in jammies, practicing gratitude, being here to reflect, deep breathing, eating something nutritious, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Terrell says, good morning, everyone. My goal for today is to clear my workspace and try to organize. Plan on watching part of the inauguration, a tradition for me. I like the rituals. Terrell, that sounds great. Organizing. Relatives, any of you out there, is cleaning part of your wellness and self-care routine? Is organization part of that? It is for me when I have... Okay, I have to grab my kitten. She's hanging on my windowsill. She does this. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my kitten. Purdy. 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 Naughty. Man, my kitten has turned into a naughty little terror. She was just cute and sweet like a couple weeks ago, and all of a sudden now she's like cliff hanging off my windowsills and my screens and running over my kitchen countertops and killing all my plants, and she's just so naughty. But anyway, she is good medicine when she's not destructive. Um, so sorry she interrupted whatever it is I was saying, but so Odessa says in reaction to Terrell's organization for today, thank you for your share. Sounds like you have some great things lined up for self-care. Arlene says thank you. Um, Arlene, I don't know. Let me see if I caught your message here. Let me go back. Arlene, please try and resend your message. I don't think that I got it. Yes, Arlene. Arlene asks, can we help get through this hard time? Yes, relatives. That's why we're here. We're here for you to lean into. That's community activated medicine. When we are in a circle of care in community activated medicine, we're here to be able to lean into others. We're here for emotional support. And relatives, if you need extra support, if you need someone to talk to, I encourage you, do reach out to someone that you trust. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend or a coworker. And also you can call our Cares Warm line. It's open every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And you can call or text our Cares Warm line. And within 24 hours, you'll get a response back. Now, although this is not a crisis line, what the Cares Warm line is that you'll be connected to one of our Cares Warm counselors who can listen to you with respect, judgment-free, stigma-free. You can talk about what's on your mind, whether you're feeling worried or sad or anxious, or you might not even know what it is that you are feeling, but you know that you're feeling some sort of way and you need to talk it out. That is what our Cares Warm line is for. So if you need that extra support, relatives, call our Cares Warm line or text it. And not only can our Cares counselors provide you with emotional support, but they can also provide you with resources that may be helpful to you. Connections to other organizations or agencies that may be able to help you. We provide advocacy. So if you're looking for shelter, safety planning, some of your options and agencies to see what's out there and how they can support you in your mental health, your wellness, or in advocacy. Arlene, please do resend your message. I did not get it if you put it on this thread. You can also inbox the HIR Wellness Institute Facebook page. And also, Odessa, can you please post the Cares Warm line, but also our contact information for our organization? Thank you very much, Odessa. I appreciate it. And I do want to say for Arlene, yes, we're here for you. So know that if you need some extra support, do reach out. Claudia says in regard to my kitty being naughty, toddlerhood. Yes, she is naughty. She's darn cute, but she's destructive these days. Matea says, I really enjoy... Hi, Matea. She says, I really enjoy watching these mornings with you. It's a really calming way to start my day when I have time to watch. Facebook can be full of so much negativity at times. This is part of my self-care routine, but Facebook scrolling isn't good for my self-care for the most part. LOL, maybe in moderation. Matea, totally. And relatives, that is kind of the double-edged sword. When you come on here for R&Rs, you will always be here in a peaceful way. We will always be here in a way to honor you. But sometimes you got that thread that you got to scroll through. And here's my advice for that, relatives. This is just my own personal advice. This is just me talking to you as another relative. Do not be afraid to use that block button. Do not be afraid to use the unfollow button. You don't always have to engage with someone you disagree with. You can unfriend. It makes a world of difference. The other thing, too, is you can disconnect from Facebook. I know you won't be able to see me, but if you need to, disconnect, log out until you're ready to log in for specific things. The other thing in general is just electronics in general. I found that sometimes I'm on my laptop, sometimes two laptops, with my tablet, with my cell phone, with the TV on. When I realize I'm doing this, I'm like, wait, let's take a minute. Let's turn everything down. Let's close that laptop. Let's turn the phone off, power button off, and let's just sit here in present time. And sometimes I do this with my son, and he's 11, and he's like, I'm bored. This, I don't like this. And he gets real, all sorts of out of sorts. That's especially when I'm like, yeah, we need to have everything off for a little while. And he gets real annoyed about being bored. And I say, good, be bored. Be bored. Just be in it. Because we have so much technology that we're surrounded with, and so many responsibilities, and so many options to be engaged with, social media platforms, movie watching platforms. It gets our brain to be real active. When we have those moments of realization where we're like, whoa, this is, there's too much negativity on here, or I'm at too many screens, or I'm living outside a body, I'm living in these screens, it's time to connect to the body, and deep breathing is an excellent way to go. Arlene, what I want you to do is I want you to connect to the Institute. I want you to know that we're going to reach out to you on your Facebook Messenger inbox. Okay? Also, I want to make sure that you're safe. So if you're not in a safe place, you do need to call somebody. Caroline, I want you to hear me with that. We will connect to you. Odessa, I would like you to reach out to Arlene on Facebook Messenger right now. You don't, I'll be here to moderate, and I can continue this video. Okay, Arlene, so we need to make sure that you're safe. And if anyone's in a dangerous situation, I always want you to call 911 if you are in a life-threatening situation. Okay, I want you to hear me on that, Arlene. So I'm going to have Odessa connect to you right now. Relatives, if you're in danger, it's important to make sure that you call someone immediately. Sending lots of love to you, Arlene. Thinking about you. Indigo says, this is how I feel exactly. My self-care today is going to include reducing social media time after this. Very good, Indigo. Sometimes we gotta do it. Sometimes we just gotta disconnect. Okay, let me see. My next one here is... Odessa says, thank you for your share, Matea. Good to see you this morning. You are absolutely right. Moderation is key. Glad you are including R&R in your self-care. Terrell says, part of my self-care is cleaning my Facebook feed. Very good, Terrell. I do this about 3 to 4 times a year. I found I see less negative posts this way, and HIR Wellness does remain one of my regulars. All right. Thank you, Terrell. Always glad to be here. Odessa says, Arlene, I'm sorry this is happening, and it sounds like extra support would be helpful. Please call or text our Cares Warm line. See in the comments for the number, and sending warmth and love to you. Absolutely, Odessa. Thank you very much. Matea says, I really need to do this. Thank you. Yeah, you guys, block, unfollow, unfriend. Seriously. You don't always have to engage. The other, small tidbit of information I'll give about social media is my Facebook now, I join groups of things that I'm interested in. Like for me, this this might sound a little strange. I love scary movies. I love them. So there's a scary movies fan page I go to, and I can just talk about scary movies. And they have rules that are already set. We're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about things that are inappropriate, blah, blah, blah. And it goes down the line. So I know that, like, I have all these different feeds. I also love Cobra Kai. Great for me. I love it. So I'm also on a Cobra Kai page. So a lot of these things are things where I go on social media. I know that they're specifically going to be talking about things that bring me joy. Um, so do that too, relatives. That's another good way to kind of to just to handle. Matea says to Indigo, I've been going to do that too. I've been trying, but it's hard for me. Like I either have to delete the app or else I catch myself scrolling way too much. Yes, and another thing you can do is log out. So you may not like completely remove your social if you want to, but you can log out. So every time you click onto your Facebook or whatever, you would actually have to log in, and it can help you take that extra step where you're like, oh, maybe I should just do something else. So that's another option too. Terrell says cleaning my Facebook feed was hard. I had to unfollow family and longtime friends whose posts left me feeling angry, drained, or upset. I don't see their posts now when I log in. I can choose when I go to their pages to catch up. I'm finding this works much better for me. Absolutely, Terrell. Same. I have family members and friends that I love. Don't necessarily want to know what they're thinking. I don't have to know what they're thinking every time I log on my Facebook. So remember, relatives, it is options. Do what you need to protect your energy. And Marilyn says, Arlene, she's sending you prayers. And we all are. I want to say mahalo nui loa. Thank you for joining us this morning, relatives. Malamo pono ikokino. Take good, righteous care of your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Aloha nui. Huge love to you all out there. Arlene, I'm going to connect with you very shortly. Before we go, there is a community survey that's linked to this video. Relatives, if you haven't taken it, please take it. It's brief, it's anonymous, it asks just a handful of questions. But this is how our founder, Leah Denny, knows that we will always keep our services free. As long as we have this information that we can keep getting from our relatives, this is how we can continue our programming. Free of charge. Our founder, Leah, knew that it should never cost a penny to heal. We don't want to see an insurance card. It doesn't matter to us if you have one or not. All you need to do for your journey in life, which is synchronous with your journey of self-care, wellness, and mental health, is to realize that you are standing on that path. You can choose if you're going to walk forward, sprint forward, crawl forward, or maybe you're just standing on that path and you're not quite sure what it is you're going to do yet, and you're taking a moment to reflect. So please, relatives, do take this survey. Take care of yourselves. Send out prayers today to those who need support, love, and safety. Ahui ho'akuno. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Aloha.